the stories born, secrets of success shared. Listen close and you might find inspiration for your mind. Come to the
Hello, my viewers. Welcome to One by One, a podcast where we uncover the stories, strategies, and secrets behind extraordinary success. I'm your podcast host, Robert Murigi, and we'll be building each other from the ground up. Subscribe now and never miss an episode from us. On our today's podcast, we are going to look yet into another mechanical proverb. And this says that if you do not have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it over? What are we talking about here? We are talking about the efficient process management and the old saying that says that speed over quality. What are we talking about here when we talk about these two things? We want to do it right once. We do not want to go back and fidget with something that we could have done it right the first time. This time we have to repeat it and we have to waste time. So when we talk about this, we are talking about efficient process management. And when people talk about this, they're also thinking about shortcuts, substandard work, saving cost, favorism. And therefore, in which ways would shortcuts cause this problem? This is where you want to do it quick. You have not prioritized the way that things are supposed to work in the proper way, but you want just to get over it and finish without having proper assessment of the results that you have. When we talk about the substandard work, this happens a lot as well. When people just want to get it done and they do not care about the standard which are already set for that particular type of a job. And we also talk about cost saving. What are you trying to save in this case? You're trying to save money by thinking that if you go through it quick and you do not consider anything else, this might help you to achieve that goal, which might not be the case in this time. We have the favorism. We want to do the job quick, and we want this job to be done quick. Then we look for people who can do it quick. And most likely, the people who does it quick without proper assessment, they might end up doing it wrong, even for the first and the second time. The other thing that we're going to look at today is deadline. If you have a deadline which is roaming and you cannot do this job and you cannot finish it, whichever pressure they push on you, and we find that you have that snow problem in your car and you're ignoring it each and every day. You could hear it and you hear that knock, but you ignore it each and every day, thinking that can maybe go over this, or maybe this miraculously it might heal itself. But this might lead you to more bigger problem which may cause catastrophic failure in your vehicle. This might end up costing you more and more time and more downtime, especially if it's a business vehicle. A vehicle which had sat for too long and the paint had peeled off and all the rust had entered all the little gaps. But what happened with this project? This project, with the deadline, we were sometimes forced to go through the shortcuts, and this caused a lot of problems in the future. You may know, or you may try to cover up the problems that you have because you think you do not have time to do them right. But let me tell you something. This will come and it will get exposed, and everything that you've been doing in hiding will come in the light. And therefore, let us look at this thing again. when the project was finished and we had painted the whole chassis and everything was shining, when it came to winter time, all the rust started bubbling through the paint, and this was a big mess for this project. This is where we had to push through the deadline, and we forgot about quality and we forgot about all the workmanship, but we wanted to pass through, we wanted to push through and get this project going. And when we give an example of fixing a mechanical issue in that car, and you find that you keep ignoring that small noise, and one day this noise will get magnified and it will break everything in your car. And this clearly shows the ripple effect on when you do good work, because that goodness moves from one part and it moves to the next part. If it moves from one person to the next person, this is where we don't want to ignore anything, but we do it right so that we can affect each and everyone in the right way. Therefore, we want to recognize the spirit of thoroughness. You want to be thorough in that one thing you're doing. You don't want to repeat something that you're not supposed to repeat just because you do not pay attention. And if it is something that you want to rush, if it's a project, you need to think about the long-term effect on the decisions that you're making. And let us look at how would we nicely balance urgency with quality. When you have that project, as we talked about, and you have the deadlines which are roaming and everything is under pressure, how would you do it so well so that you can still deliver it within time and also make sure that the quality is up to standard? And the other one which can work very well is introducing small changes. When you have that thing that you want to do and it is enormous and it requires a lot of resources, it requires a lot of thoughtfulness, what do you do about this? This is where you need to introduce small changes so that you do not get overwhelmed and start thinking that this thing, there is no way I could do it right without segmenting it. We have talked about checklist. You can have a checklist, and you can also check on your deadlines. You can check on the things that doesn't require a lot of resources or your time, and those things you can spare them until last so that you can get the ones which needs to keep going. That is why we talked about prioritization. Which are the things that needs priority so that you can get them out of the way and keep moving forward. One of the best ways which can help us to balance the urgency with quality is prioritization. What are the things that need immediate action and which ones can wait, so that when you get the ones which needs a lot of time, you can do them and you can get them out of the way before you embark on the ones which do not require a lot of attention and time. And what happens when you rush through a process? And if you're doing a particular job and you rush through the process, you miss the beauty and you miss the sweetness of the process. When you get educated, or you get rich, or you get whatever, or you're stable, or you are healthy, you must have gone through a process for you to get to that point. If you're very wealthy but you cannot explain how you have got it, then that is an equivalent of either a fraud or some kind of corruption. But on this case, if you're very healthy and you've been going to the gym, you've been taking care of what you eat, then that time you are justified to say that you have spent time to get where you are. And therefore, if you do not want to miss the the beauty of the whole thing, it is always good to immerse yourself to the process so that you can have the real life experience. And that is what brings excitement in this life. If we go back to our proverb today again, and we say, if you do not have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it over? This can help you build a foundation of integrity in either your personal life or even in your career. And therefore, let us keep our heads down and let us do it right first time. Do it right every day, one by one. And whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, seasoned professional, or simply someone looking for inspiration, one by one, we will equip you with the tools and insight you need to lay the foundation of your own success story. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. Your feedback helps us to grow and to bring you even more inspiring stories. Thank you for listening to Building from the Ground Up. Remember, every great accomplishment starts with one single step. What will you build today? Until next time, keep building, keep striving, and keep reaching for your dreams.